car brands that have withstood the test of time, and even fewer that still today appeal to the young and the old enthusiast alike. The classic Chevy Corvette is one of those few, a car that has crossed generational lines. In 1962, Chevrolet introduced their latest and most powerful Corvette, with the 327 hidden beneath the hood versus the previous year's 283. And it now produces 360 horsepower versus its predecessor's 315. The 62 Vette is the ultimate classic American muscle car that gifts the driver with all the excitement and performance they desire. People usually want their poster car. So when you grew up, if you were a car enthusiast, you had a poster of your dream car on the wall. And as the generations go on, those poster cars, the most desirable cars, tend to shift. Now, the Corvette kind of defies the generational shift. While there are so many different generations of the Corvette, and they've been around for so long, young and old enthusiasts of pretty much any generation can still look at a Corvette, desire it. It just has withstood the test of time. The Corvette, especially in the US, is one of those cars that you see around and maybe your dad had one, your granddad had one, and you've always wanted them. They're easier to drive, they're easy enough to work on, so they kind of appeal to such a wide variety of people that they have been able to cross those generational lines and still appeal to the kids today who are more focused on like the hypercars and supercars, but the old classic Corvettes still appeal to those people too. Like with any car, as the Corvette went on in time, they made these slight tweaks and improvements to the cars. Obviously, as an auto enthusiast, the companies are always trying to provide more power, make faster, better cars. So you can't see the mechanical differences, but the 62 Corvette is faster, it handles a little better, but because we have two Corvettes right here, so here's the 59 versus the 62. While you look at the front of both, you immediately recognize them as Corvettes, and they both have a very similar aggressive look to them, but there's also some big differences. When you look at the 59, you can see that it has a bit more chrome and it's a bit more flashy. And then with the 62, it's a bit more toned down, a bit more subdued, a little less chrome. When you look at the various generations of the Corvette in the various years, all the little differences you can basically instantly kind of recognize what year they are just by those little tweaks. And as it went on, they became so much more comfortable and powerful and easy to drive. The little tweaks throughout the years just keep improving them and making them that much better. When people buy a car, they're not only factoring in the purchase price of the car, they also are factoring in the maintenance over the years. When you look at other cars like the Ferrari Testarossa and the maintenance over the years, the Testarossa has cam belts that need to be replaced every roughly 5 years. You can't do the belts in the car, and the engine can't come out the top. So you have to drop the whole rear end out of the car, the engine out of the bottom, and do the service that way. And it starts at about $10,000 and quickly goes up from there. So it's quite an expensive car in maintenance factors. With the Chevy Corvette, not only are parts readily available, I mean, it's a Chevy, so luckily finding the parts and the purchase price of them is quite low. It's also a car that you can work on yourself. It's not a difficult or complicated car to work on. If you are one of those guys that is mechanically inclined, It's a car that you can have in your garage, tinker on, you can go online, easily find parts. They're not super expensive. And that's one of the reasons why the Chevy Corvette appeals to such a large group of buyers. I mean, not only is it user-friendly in the sense that it drives well, but also the maintenance is a lot easier than some other cars. As the Corvette went on, they made all the little improvements to not only make it more powerful, but more comfortable. The Corvettes are convertibles, but they have the big hardtop. So to get the hardtop on and off is a two-man job for sure. They're heavier and you need a person on each side to get it off or get it on. So if you want to drive around with the top down, Chevy actually put a soft top in the back under the cover here. So you press the button right here and it pops up this section where you can fold up the soft top really easily. And that is a one-man job. So if you're out driving around and get hit with summer showers or it starts sprinkling for some reason, then it's really easy to just pop this up, put the soft top on, and you're good to go. Because the worst thing is getting stuck in the rain in a convertible. That's definitely a little feature that I love about the Corvettes, that they give you that kind of dual option, whether you want the hard top, soft top, or no top. Another little feature I always love when I get in older cars, it's a little silly, but the different lockout mechanisms for reverse. In Ferraris, reverse is left and up, and you have to press down on the shifter in order to get it into reverse. On the Corvette, it has these little tabs on the shifter that you pull up, and then it'll let you go into reverse. I just love how each one is a little unique in how they do things, and it's just one of the things I love about old cars, those little quirks and differences. In today's day and age of supercars, everyone cares about horsepower, but the thing people forget is torque. Torque is super important in these cars. An analogy I heard one time that I really like is horsepower may be how fast you hit the wall, but torque is how far you're taking the wall with you after you've hit it. Torque is very important. So not only did they improve the horsepower in the 62 Corvette, but they also improved the torque. And that's really where it gives you that like punchy power to it. They made a lot of improvements in the 62 Corvette. It's not just the horsepower, it's the combination of the horsepower and the torque that made the 62 Vet such an awesome car, and they kept that V8 small block as a staple for so many years after that. This small block V8 actually lasted until 1965 as kind of the staple in their muscle cars. The Corvette is a fiberglass bodied car, and I have said many times with the fiberglass body cars, you don't have to worry about hidden rust issues. And people always say, but the chassis could have rust, which is absolutely true, but chassis rust is a lot easier to spot. If you're inspecting one, you put it on a lift, it's pretty easy to see if there's chassis rust. Whereas with the fiberglass body, you don't have to worry about hidden body rust, which is a lot easier to hide on a steel body car. If there's the body rust, somebody could Bondo over it, throw a fresh coat of paint over it, and you're not gonna be able to really tell it's there until that rust starts bubbling up the paint from underneath. That is one of the great things about the fiberglass bodied cars, is it just eliminates that one worry when you're looking to purchase a car like this. And the combination of the fiberglass body, the improvement in horsepower, the improvement in torque, ease of drivability, all of that combined, it's no wonder that the Corvette has crossed the generational lines and appeals to so many people today. So I hope you guys have learned a little something about the Corvette. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and stay tuned because we got a lot more coming very soon.